This is a video on how my mother betrayed me. I just created in these videos. I showed that my mother was ignoring me since I think it was the end of January this year until 2 days before. So these are my calls when she was ignoring me until 2 days before illegally ownership of the property is illegally changed in the cadastre. This is an institution which deals with properties, ownership of the properties, and so on and so on. So they gave the monstrous murderer of my family. I explained who she is in that video, but my brother. So I'll explain it here to save time. So they gave her 3/3 of my property illegally, thinking that this would change something. So these are the proofs. But then, so this is the proof that a day after that, a major of military police called me. I have a new screenshot where it can be with a better view, with a better resolution, and I will open it right now, but need to check out if there is something more to mention. So this is the proof that she answered 2 days before that fraud with a different account, from different account. So these are some other things about my brother. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. So this is about that monstrous murderer who murdered 3 members of my family, so-called stepmother, quoted. But I won't go into details, as I was already explaining video about my brother. Okay. Nothing important here, and I want to show that picture with better resolution. So here's the video that contains the link to G drive with pieces of evidence, a lot of evidence. I think it's something like more than 600 documents. And if I go, so this is a public access, and if I go to this, which is folder related to High Council of Judiciary, they are the ones who so I think this is the same. So they are the ones who propose judges, to propose who will be a state judge. And this is now extremely slow for some reason. So, okay, so this is that call, 10th of March. So next day they committed a fraud by changing illegally ownership of the property, my property and my brother's property. So 13 hours exactly. Maybe it has something to do with the people who are behind this, and we all know that the Masonry respects that that number, and the proof is 13th, Friday the 13th, when those Templars were massacred, those Satanists. So this might mean something, but not necessarily, but I mean exactly. So 13 hours sharp. And again, this was a major of military police calling me. He wanted to meet me, and he did that because he was ordered by his commander, and his commander was ordered by headquarters of Serbian army, which is controlled by NATO. Everybody knows that. Who knows what's happening in Serbia? So, and there is another. I think I left this one. Yeah, there is another. There is that picture with a low resolution. I just left it there. As a proof that I wasn't trying to commit a fraud or something like that. I took that picture, first picture with low resolution, in low resolution with my mobile. So, okay, so this is now I will explain who is really my mother. So I will start with the fact that she sued me. I mean the whole family, for some money. She eventually received that money. It was in 1996. So this is my father, my grandfather, my grandmother. This is me. I was living at that time in Novi Sad on this address. My brother. And there are some other people. I don't know why. I think that some of them were witnesses. And eventually my father gave her as a sort of compensation, because they got divorced. So 15,000 German marks. It is something around 8,000 euros. This is a huge money in Serbia. So he sold a lot of stuff to be able to. This is the second part of that lawsuit, and she created a list of everything that is in the house, called everything, literally. So so I thought that money my father gave her, I mean the whole family, because she filed a lawsuit against the whole family. So I thought that she used that money to buy an apartment, because she bought an apartment. But it turns out she used it to pay male prostitutes. And this is my message to one of my cousins, where I was then at his wedding, and I saw some guy, half Tsigani, so not gypsy but Tsigani, and he wanted to meet me, but he gave up for some reason. So my cousins all know that. So that guy was a male prostitute, and I asked my cousin, because it was his wedding, who that guy was. It's possible he doesn't know, but he refused. He didn't answer. So this is where she spent the money. So paying male prostitutes. So this is my mother suing me. This is her picture. First profile, second profile, and I told her that I didn't want to tell her that I have cancer, 4 cancers, the worst possible cancers. I had melanoma in my eye, because I didn't want her to worry about me. But when I sent that, he called me afterwards and didn't ask me. She was very angry, and she didn't even ask me. I mean, to this day, she she never asked me how I'm doing about this. There's some videos, and I reminded her that she didn't answer my calls since 25th of January. I called her 15 times, and then she answered 2 days before that fraud is committed in cadastre. And I reminded her about that blackmail with her retirement. So I told her not to call me anymore, and she was constantly telling me that she doesn't want to hear anything about those problems I had with those monsters who murdered my family. And before that, she was really hostile about her, and then she simply completely changed the story. And then I again reminded her of that male prostitute. She never answered that. Okay. I reminded her that she's a conspirator in international organized crime case. This is I reminded her here on one guy who in the 90s who visited my home in country. He was probably her lover. He visited my country, and my grandmother was in front of my was walking toward my home in country, and that the guy asked her, probably he didn't know who she is, asked her if this is the home of Ljiljana, so my mother. And she was extremely upset, so I then found that guy in the center of the village. I was chasing him, but he ran away. I wanted to ask him who he is. So these are people, these are lovers, these are type of lovers of my mother. And this is another fact that was told. One serious woman, older woman, told to my grandmother that my mother was looking for some guy to be her lover at the time when it was at the time when Serbia was bombed. And this is something about witchcraft. And this is also important. So my mother hit some guy, old guy, when she was driving car. He was on bike, and it turned out she was with somebody when she hit that guy. I found that later. I mean, she didn't tell me. So again, her lover. This is something this is something that triggered divorce of my parents. So my father saw my mother. They were working both. He was working driving instructor, and she was working. She was cleaning. I think that was some state institution, and my father saw my mother with driving her lover. He tried to he chased her, but she ran away, and then after that I think he never visited my home again in country. So And this is some event, very strange event. So right before my father saw that, there was some old woman. He offered her a drive, and she accepted. And when she was leaving the car, that woman said, "You will see today something that you never saw again." And shortly after that, he saw my mother with her lover, which again triggered their divorce. I'm not saying my father didn't do something similar, but never on that scale. Okay, nothing new here. Okay, so this is the video where I called crooked cops and military dogs and pigs. I mean, police are called pigs, crooked police, and military are called dogs. So crooked or people who committed treason and so on are into criminal protecting criminals and so on and so on. So I gave her a proof that I sent an email to all the prosecution offices with that insult, and I obviously this is a video of that email, and nobody's doing anything, which means that they are deeply all involved and they're in deep trouble. Okay, nothing new here. Yeah, I reminded her that my brother is driving 5,000 cars, which is worth 5,000 euro. Okay, so when she recently sent me messages, she brutally was cursing and was insulting me. And again, I refused to talk to her. So this is about my mother, and what I forgot to mention there is that she's responsible for my problems with lungs. I was first, she's responsible because I get sick in the first place. I was a baby. At that time, she didn't take care of me. I don't want to go into details. And then when I was in hospital, she didn't also take care of me, and I almost died. I don't have one part of my lungs. And when I was dying, and my family, I mean, it was so serious that my family bought a coffin for me. So my uncle saved me. He was using force to transfer me to a hospital in Belgrade. And what was the most shocking, this is something that my grandmother was always telling me. So while I was dying, and my family, my father and my grandparents were crying. So my mother said, "Why you're crying?" My aunt, I think, had a son. I think that guy was something like 20 years old, and she committed suicide. So my mother said, when my aunt's son died, she didn't cry. So this is my mother, and I will finish the video with that about my mother.